Tale of the Sun and Moon by Megan Slime. Episode 17, The Princess. 34 AG, Earth Kingdom. Steadily, the group travels along the plains of the Earth Kingdom. Leanna rides atop Isla with Michi asleep in her arms. Taki and Raiden walk beside Isla with Hakan and Faye behind them.
Should we really be walking out in the open like this? We're sitting turtle ducks out here.
We'll be fine as long as we keep moving.
Exhaling through his nose, Hakan increases his pace slightly. Just then, a huge gust of wind sweeps across the Earth Kingdom plains and over the group. Glancing over at Hakan, Leanna tilts her head slightly.
You know, Hakan, with your hair down, you look even more identical to Raiden. It's kind of freaky.
Hakan and Raiden exchange brief glances. Quickly, Hakan faces away with a slight roll of his eyes. Leanna looks down at the various bags of supplies secured on Isla's saddle.
I think we might be running low on supplies.
There must be a city or town near here somewhere.
I believe the city of Omashu is around this area.
We shouldn't go to Omashu.
And why is that, Trevor?
It's such a big city. We don't really want to delay our trip too much by going there.
If we truly need supplies and it's the only city in sight, then we must go there.
Leanna looks down.
Faye does make a good point. What do you think, Raiden?
Taki glances over at Raiden just as the group reaches the top of a large hill, bringing the towering city of Omashu into view on the horizon.
If we're to enter Omashu, we should make it brief. Best to keep traveling and avoid lingering in any city longer than necessary.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
In an almost awkward silence, the group travels on towards the city of Omashu. When they reach the main gate, 2 Earth Kingdom guards turn in their direction. Raiden stays at the back of the path with his face down. Leanna glances down and faces away as well.
Halt, and state your business in Omashu.
Taki glances around at the others. No one seems to know what to say or do. Inhaling, Taki steps forward.
We are refugees in need of supplies as we travel to avoid the Fire Nation best we can.
Refugees, huh? From where?
Garsai.
The guard turns his attention to Leanna and narrows his eyes at her.
You look familiar somehow. Have you been to Omashu before?
Oh, maybe once when I was really little. I probably just got one of those faces.
Right. Well, we aim to protect any Earth Kingdom citizens from the tyranny of the Fire Nation. Take all the time you need in Omashu.
The guards step aside, allowing the group to pass by.
Thank you, it's much appreciated.
Leanna and Raiden both stare forward, hoping not to be noticed too closely by the guards. They make it through without them saying anything. Once inside the city, everyone glances around at the various houses and shops nearby.
I see a shop that should have what we need.
Then let us...
Nah, you all wait here. I'll cover the supplies this time.
Sir, just to remind you, you don't really have any money with you.
Almost speechless, Hakan's eyes widen slightly.
Oh, right.
Allow me to accompany you and purchase what we need.
Fine.
Hakan turns to walk over to the shop.
We'll wait here.
Very well, we shall return shortly.
Faye gives a small nod and walks after Hakan. Looking over at Raiden and Leanna, Taki furrows her brows when she notices both of them acting very nervous and eyeing the guards. Leanna even slides off Isla to basically hide beside her.
Are you two okay?
Raiden says nothing and faces away. Leanna glances over at Taki with a fake smile.
Oh, yeah, I'm totally fine. Completely okay.
Gee, that was convincing.
Let's just say I'll feel better once we leave Omashu.
Trying to catch Raiden's eye, Taki moves towards him.
Raiden, you're acting strange as well. Have you been to Omashu before?
A few years ago.
For a mission.
Before Taki can probe further, Leanna stands tall as Hakan and Faye walk back towards them carrying supplies. She notices Hakan now has his hair pulled up into a short ponytail again.
Nice ponytail. Didn't like your hair down?
It kept getting in the way.
Sure, whatever you say. Anyway, now we can leave Omashu.
Just then, an old woman steps forward and stares wide-eyed at Leanna.
I don't believe it. It's our princess! Princess Leanna has returned!
Leanna's breath escapes her as all of her companions turn to her with wide eyes. Countless guards and townspeople surround them with gaping expressions.
It is her! The princess is back!
Taki steps closer to Leanna with a look of shock.
Leanna, you're...
I'm sorry.
Your Highness, please allow us to escort you to the palace. I'm sure the Queen would like to see you.
Very well. But my friends will be joining us.
As you wish, Princess.
The guard gives a low bow and then signals to a few of his men to march alongside Leanna, still holding Michi tightly. Leanna glances back at her friends as they hesitantly follow after her and the guards.
Well, how about that? Tremor here is a princess.
Were either of you aware of this fact?
No, I had no idea. All I knew is that Leanna's father was killed in a Fire Nation attack, and that she ran away from home shortly after. Her mother apparently couldn't handle Leanna's earthbending powers.
Well, this should make for an interesting reunion then.
As they draw closer to the center of the city, a towering palace appears before them. All of them continue forward, except for Raiden, who suddenly stops walking. Taki notices and stops as well. She moves to him with furrowed brows.
Raiden, what's wrong?
I can't go into the palace with you.
What? Why not?
I'll wait here in town until you have all finished the business with Leanna's family. Don't try to find me. I'll find you.
Without giving Taki a chance to reply, Raiden swiftly turns and moves down a nearby alleyway, making sure to stay clear of any guards. Hakan glances back as the group carries on. Seeing Taki standing alone, Hakan stops walking.
Taki, you coming?
Pulled out of thought, Taki turns around to face him and takes a few steps towards Hakan.
Where's Raiden?
He, didn't want to enter the palace for some reason. I'm going to take Isla and go after him.
Maybe I should come...
No, it's okay. You and Faye stay with Leanna. My guess is she'll need support right now.
Studying her intently, Hakan watches as Taki quickly climbs onto Isla and moves away from the group. Inhaling, Hakan turns and catches up to Faye, walking behind the troop of guards escorting Leanna through the palace gates.
Are Taki and Raiden not joining us?
No. Doesn't look like it.
What are we to do, sir?
Stay with Princess Tremor for now.
As they enter a long, dark green hallway, Leanna glances back. Her eyes grow wide when she only sees Faye and Hakan. She slows her pace to walk just in front of them.
Where are Taki and Raiden?
Not here. Something came up. Looks like you're stuck with just us, Your Highness.
With wide eyes, Leanna stares forward and swallows slowly. The guards lead them into a lengthy throne room. Silent gasps and wide eyes follow the group as they pass the servants and other guards. All of them stop in front of a tall throne where a brown-haired woman, Dolly, sits. She wears an elaborate green dress and a golden crown. At the sight of Leanna, Dolly stares down at her with wide, intense eyes.
Hello, Mama.
With bated breath, everyone turns to Dolly, waiting for her response. Slowly, she stands.
My people, let us rejoice! Our dear princess has returned! Prepare a feast at once!
Immediately, several servants rush about to start preparing a grand dinner in the adjoining room. With an almost forced smile, Dolly steps down towards Leanna, Faye, and Hakan.
And who have you brought with you, Lee?
She studies Hakan and Faye with intent eyes.
Mama, these are my friends, Hakan and Faye.
Faye gives a low bow to Dolly.
Your Majesty, it is an honor.
Everyone glances over at Hakan, prompting him to give a quick bow.
Likewise.
Dolly turns her attention back to Leanna and Michi.
I see you still have that pick-me, Puma.
As Dolly reaches out her hand, Michi instantly hisses and tries to claw Dolly. With a look of disdain, Dolly pulls her hand away. Then she smiles wide with an artificial grin.
Come, let us dine to celebrate your return.
Hesitantly, Leanna follows her mother out of the throne room. Faye and Hakan walk a short distance behind them at a slower pace.
You never were the best at undercover missions, sir. Remember, we don't want them to know that we're not Earth Kingdom citizens.
Everything is in hand, Faye.
But, sir, we're still in enemy territory.
Nothing to worry about. What could possibly go wrong?
34 AG, Earth Kingdom, Omashu. In the evening streets of Omashu, Taki rides atop Isla as she moves through the various pathways of the city. Somewhat frantically, Taki searches all around for any sign of Raiden. Hearing the clatter of weapons and the murmurs of shouting, Taki quickly turns Isla down a side street. She slows Isla to a stop in the shadows as Taki gazes into a small courtyard area. Dismounting Isla, Taki steps closer to see Raiden surrounded by numerous city guards.
Take him down! We can't let the lightning shadow escape. Not this time.
With that, all of the guards bend stones up from the ground and hurl them towards Raiden, who swiftly dodges each one with exact precision. As he evades their attacks, Raiden proceeds to rush forward and knock 2 of them back with his staff. Wide-eyed, Taki remains in the shadows but almost runs out. Unsure of what to do, she pants heavily.
Oh gosh, what do I do?
As Raiden takes down 2 more earthbenders, he looks over and catches sight of Taki in the shadows. They link eyes. This momentary distraction causes Raiden to fail in avoiding another rock attack. He's thrust backwards into a stone wall. With a small moan, Raiden crashes to the hard ground, clutching his side. Instantly, the Omashu guards move in and bend some earth around his arms and legs, pinning him down.
No.
We've got you now, Lightning Shadow. You will pay for your crimes against Umashu.
As they lift him up, Raiden stares hard at Taki and gives a small nod as if signaling her to leave. Hesitantly, Taki backs up and slowly leads Isla away from the courtyard. 34 AG, Earth Kingdom, Omashu Palace. In the palace, Liana, Hakan, and Faye sit at a long table with Dolly at the head end. Michi lies on the floor next to Liana's chair. They are in the middle of a tense and awkward dinner. No one speaks for several endless minutes. Eventually, Dolly clears her throat.
Is the food to your liking?
Yes. It's just as I remember it.
It's all right.
It is quite delicious, Your Majesty.
Anything for my precious daughter and her friends.
Another brief, awkward silence.
You've grown since I last saw you. Your hair is different, and your clothes are, well, a change.
I've been traveling for several years, Mama. What did you expect to happen?
Ah, of course. And what brings you back now?
We're just passing through. Stopped in for some supplies, that's all.
Well, all of you must stay the night, to rest from your travels.
That really won't be necessary.
I insist.
Without waiting for a response, Dolly stands and motions for 2 of her servants to draw near.
Come now. The servants will show you to your quarters.
With a tired sigh, Liana stands to follow the servants as Michi prances alongside her.
I guess one night wouldn't hurt.
Faye and Hakan both rise to follow, but Hakan stops short. He glances back at the door leading out of the palace.
What is it, sir?
I'm going to find Taki and Raiden. Keep an eye on Tremor.
Liana and Dolly glance back just in time to see Hakan rush out of the room to leave.
And where is he off to?
Oh, he's going to check on our other companions.
I see. Very well. Come along to your rooms.
With her head low, Liana follows her mother as Faye falls into step behind her. By now, Hakan has made his way outside the Omashu Palace with some suspicious glances from the guards. Walking fast, he moves down the street, glancing all around him. Out of nowhere, he's pulled into a small, darkened alley. Swiftly, Hakan raises his fist in preparation to attack. He lowers his arm as soon as he realizes Taki was the one who grabbed him. Isla sniffs Hakan's hair as he stares back at wide-eyed Taki.
Taki, what's wrong?
They took him. He's been captured, taken to prison.
Who have they taken?
Raiden. They took Raiden.
For what reason?
I don't know. It must have something to do with the mission he had here a few years ago, and now he's gone. We have to get him back.
Taki takes a step towards Hakan.
Hakan, will you help me find and free Raiden?
Somewhat wide-eyed, Hakan gazes back at Taki for a moment as she stares back at him with bated breath.
Yes. I'll help you.
Thank you, Hakan.
Don't thank me yet. First, we have to make it into the prison. Seems to me it would be located under the palace.
34 AG, Earth Kingdom, Omashu Prison. Deep in the prison below the palace, Raiden sits against a stone wall with his hands chained to the wall beside his head. Across from him, Raiden can see through the metal bars of his cell into the cell of Bumi, a middle-aged man with spiky brown hair. He is imprisoned in a metal coffin with only his head visible. He stares back at Raiden with a half-crazed look.
What brings you to this fine establishment?
Ignoring him completely, Raiden looks away.
Strong and silent type, eh? Too cool to own up to your mistakes?
Raiden glances over at Bumi with narrowed eyes.
My only mistake was letting my guard down and getting caught. I take full responsibility for my actions.
And what actions might those have been,
I broke into the palace years ago and stole some priceless artifacts. While escaping, I attacked anyone who got in my way.
Heh, you seem quite young to be a mercenary, boy. How does an unbender like you end up doing such dark deeds?
Raiden raises an eyebrow at Bumi, who laughs and then snorts.
Heh, you're wondering how I know you're not a bender. Clearly there aren't any special precautions with your restraints.
Actually, I was wondering how a powerful earthbender like you ended up in this Earth Kingdom prison.
I like you, boy. Sharp as a sword. Let's just say I've got quite a peculiar family. Speaking of, did I hear right that the dear princess has returned?
Raiden says nothing.
You know her, don't you, boy?
Liana she's a friend.
I see. My question remains. What brings you back to Omashu? Why return to a city where you're wanted for a crime?
Growing weary of the conversation, Raiden glances away.
A mission.
Hopefully not another mission like the last one.
No, this one is better.
And why's that, my boy?
This one means something.
34 AG, Earth Kingdom, Omashu Palace. Upstairs in the palace, Liana lies wide awake on her back on a plush bed. Michi is curled up in a ball next to her, and Faye is standing nearby leaning against a wall.
You should try and get some sleep.
How can I? In this place.
Liana sits up and dangles her legs over the side of the bed.
Especially with everyone abandoning me. First Raiden and Taki, and then even Hakan, who thinks I'm a walking disaster.
He doesn't.
Why else would he keep calling me Tremor?
Liana, Hakan is all about power. I don't think he resents you for your earthbending. I believe he actually acknowledges and admires the incredible power you possess.
Yeah, well, my incredible power is the reason my mother can barely stand to look at me, let alone touch me.
Faye glances down, unsure of what to say. Slowly, she moves to the bed and sits beside Liana.
You know, I'm not the best at consoling, but since everyone else is preoccupied at the present time, I'll do my best.
Thanks, Faye. I appreciate the effort.
Although, if you truly want to deal with these issues, the best way would be to talk with your mother about it.
Yeah, I know.
With a heavy sigh, Liana stands and moves towards the door. She glances back at Faye.
Actually, Faye, do you mind coming with me? I don't really want to face my mother alone.
Standing, Faye grabs Michi and holds her in her arms.
Michi and I will be right there with you.
Liana smiles as they exit the room. 34 AG, Earth Kingdom, Omashu Prison. Beneath the palace, Taki and Hakan cautiously make their way through the halls of the stone prison.
I hope Isla will be alright at that stable.
Your giant lizard dog will be fine.
You know she's an eel hound.
Suddenly, Hakan grabs Taki and thrusts her down a narrow hallway and against the wall. Moving to her in the passageway, Hakan stares at her intently as they hear guards pass down a nearby hall. They wait in silence several moments before exhaling. After giving each other a quick nod, they turn and carefully move down another hallway. At the end of the hall, Hakan cautiously glances around the corner and then quickly moves back.
Man, there are guards everywhere down here. We need a major diversion or something.
Taki's gaze drifts over to a side room. The door hangs open, so she slowly moves towards it. Several weapons are scattered about the room. Her eyes grow wide when she instantly spots Raiden's staff and sheathed dagger. Taki quickly moves to grab them.
Taki, what are you doing?
Now holding Raiden's weapons, Taki moves back to Hakan with a glint in her eyes.
I have an idea, but you aren't going to like it.
Hakan raises an eyebrow but says nothing.
All of the guards will converge together if they think a prisoner has escaped, in which case they definitely won't be concerned with guarding any cells if a prisoner is running around on the loose.
Right, but there isn't a prisoner running about.
With a smirk, Taki quickly unties Hakan's ponytail, causing his straight hair to fall on each side of his head.
What are you...
Focusing her eyes, Taki flings part of Hakan's hair to the right side of his head and messes it up slightly with her fingers. Then she hands him Raiden's weapons.
There. Now the lightning shadow has escaped.
You're right. I don't like it. This will never work.
You're identical, Hakan. All you have to do is run through the prison halls, avoid any guards, and refrain from bending.
Oh, sure. That'll be real easy.
Well, I'm sure Raiden wouldn't have a problem completing this task.
Narrowing his eyes, Hakan turns and takes off running down the hallway without a second thought. With a small exhale, Taki turns in the opposite direction and hurries down the hall. It's not too long before she stops in a corner and waits until several guards run down the adjoining hallway.
He's escaped! The lightning shadow is on the run!
With a tiny grin, Taki moves down the now empty hallway of the prison cells. Glancing quickly in each cell as she goes, Taki finally stops when she comes upon Raiden's cell. His mouth drops slightly at the sight of her.
Finally.
Taki quickly bends some water into the lock of his cell door and freezes it. She kicks the door open and hastens over to him.
Taki, how did you...
Hakan came with me to find you. He's causing a distraction right now, so we have to hurry.
Without another word, Taki uses several slashes of her water to cut through the metal chains around Raiden's wrists. Once he's freed, Taki and Raiden move out of the cell and into the hall. Boomy cackles at this.
Now I see why this mission means something to you, boy.
Who's that?
Just some crazy earthbender. Let's get out of here.
As they move to leave, Boomy snorts and laughs after them.
Say hello to my niecey for me.
Stopping, Raiden and Taki glance back at him with furrowed brows.
The powerful earthbending princess you know and love.
Leanna's your niece?
Evidently so. Come on, we need to move.
Raiden ushers Taki onward down the hallway. They can still hear Boomy cackling and snorting as they go.
What an odd fellow. Well, anyway, we better hurry. Hakan is being chased by the guards as we speak.
As Taki rushes forward, Raiden follows silently and then gradually slows to a stop. Taki halts as well and glances back at him.
Raiden, what are you doing? We have to go.
Don't you want to know the mission I had in Omashu all those years ago? The crimes I've committed against this city?
No, I don't. It's in the past.
Raiden looks down, deep in thought. Taki slowly steps towards him.
About that mission, and all the other missions I've done with thievery, deception, and murder, I don't want to do them anymore. Not those kinds of missions.
Really? What brought that on?
Raiden looks up into Taki's eyes.
Your mission.
As a smile appears on Taki's face, Hakan rushes past at the end of the hallway and several earthbenders run after him. Taki and Raiden exchange quick glances and then take off after them. Once behind the guards, Taki shoves several of them into the stone wall with her water while Raiden knocks aside two of them with some quick jabs and kicks. They catch up to Hakan, and three of them continue running as the remaining guards keep chasing them.
Took you long enough.
All that matters is that we found Raiden. Besides, you seem to be managing all right.
I've had quite enough of being the lightning shadow.
With a brief sideways glance at his brother, Hakan tosses Raiden his staff and sheathes his dagger. Then he quickly fixes his hair to part down the middle.
Now, let's get out of this.
At that moment, a wall of stone surges up from the floor and completely cuts off their escape. Frantic and alert, Taki, Hakan, and Raiden whirl around to find the hallway blocked by a horde of earthbender guards walking towards them.
We failed.
Come on, we can take them!
Just then, a few of the earthbenders stomp forward to send a wave of earth at them, trapping the feet of Taki, Raiden, and Hakan.
You were saying?
I never back down from a fight.
Well, this time you have to. They can't see you firebend. Otherwise, they'll never let you leave Omashu and may even kill you just for being a firebender.
Who's to say they'll even let us go after this?
We need to trust that Liana can get us out of this. She's the princess here after all. For now, we have to stand down.
But I...
Surrender! Immediately! You're outmatched in a no-scape.
Taki stares intently at Hakan as he tries to slow his quickening breaths. Wide-eyed, Taki notices Hakan's fist instinctively starts to ignite with fire. Hakan stares forward in a sort of daze. Instantly, Taki covers her hand in water and quickly grabs Hakan's hand in hers, extinguishing the fire. This jolts Hakan back to his senses, and he looks over at Taki.
Please, Hakan, stand down. Trust in Liana.
Hakan glances down as the three of them let the guards take them into custody. 34 AG, Earth Kingdom, Omashu Palace. Above in the palace, Liana, Faye, and Michi wait in a wide room with an open balcony. Liana paces the floor as Faye holds a sleeping Michi. A few moments later, Dolly enters the room with 4 guards behind her. Her elegant dressing gown flourishes behind her as she moves near the balcony.
I understand that you wish to speak to me. Can this not wait until morning, Lee? It's the middle of the night.
Liana stares back at her mother with intent eyes but says nothing.
Very well. What is it?
I need to speak with you alone.
With a somewhat annoyed exhale, Dolly gestures for her guards to leave the room. Then she glances over at Faye with narrowed eyes.
And her? I thought we were to be alone.
Faye and Michi, stay.
Fine. What is it you want to discuss so that we can all go back to bed? Honestly, Lee, this is what you woke
That's
me up.
all you can say?
Somewhat stunned by Liana's sudden outburst, Dolly stares back at her with wide eyes.
We haven't seen each other for 6 years, and that's all you have to say to me?
Now, Liana, you best keep your voice down and your emotions in check.
Otherwise what? You'll have to face my earthquaking again? Are you gonna lock me away again too?
Lee, that was for your own good.
No, it wasn't. It was for you and your precious reputation as queen.
It's not true, Lee. Everything I did was for your protection.
From what? Myself? My bending? Mama, you locked me away, chained me up. Your own daughter!
You were a menace, Liana! You couldn't control it. Couldn't stop the earthquakes. What else was I supposed to do?
You should have accepted and comforted me instead of pushing me away.
You were the one who left, Liana.
Yes, I left because my own mother saw me as a monster.
I didn't know what else to do, except to contain you and your bending however I could.
Don't you see, Mama? By locking me away, all you did was outcast me instead of protect me. I felt alone, not loved.
Silently, Dolly looks down, on the verge of tears.
You were terrified of me, Mama. And your fear only made me more afraid of myself.
Liana glances back at Faye and Michi, and then faces her mother again with a content smile.
But you know something, Mama? I'm really glad I left home. It allowed me the chance to travel the world and meet some amazing people, close friends who have supported and cared for me.
Just then, countless Omashu guards bring Taki, Raiden, and Hakan into the room and shove them onto their knees before Liana and Dolly. All 3 of them have their wrists bound behind them with a rock.
What is the meaning of this?
Apologies for the interruption this late, Your Majesty. But we caught these 2 renegades releasing the lightning shadow from prison. When we recaptured all of them, they insisted on seeing Princess Liana.
Lee, you know these criminals.
Yes, Mama. These are my friends. Please let them go.
Your Majesty, if I may interject, this boy
The guard harshly grabs Raiden's hair and tilts his head up.
is the lightning shadow. And if you recall, he stole several priceless Omashu artifacts and seriously wounded countless soldiers in the process. Beyond that, the other boy looks exactly like him, so it could have been either one of them. And this Water Tribe girl went to great lengths to help both of them. I believe they should all be locked away indefinitely.
No, please!
Liana moves to her mother and gazes up at her with pleading eyes.
Please, Mama, release them!
Lee, these people are criminals.
No, they're not! These people mean the world to me. They're more of a family to me than you ever were.
Stung by Liana's words, Dolly turns to her guards with narrowed eyes.
Take them away.
No!
Just as the guards grab Taki, Raiden, and Hakan to lift them up, Liana rushes towards them. She thrusts her arms down to bend an earthquake wave through the stone floor. The small seismic wave topples all of the guards over, leaving Taki, Hakan, and Raiden standing in a sea of frazzled soldiers. Tightening her open hands into fists, Liana breaks apart the earth bonds around each of their wrists. With a focused gaze, Liana faces her mother.
I won't let you take them. Because of my friends, I've finally gained control of my earthbending. I am not afraid anymore. And I'm thankful for my powerful bending. It connects me to Papa forever.
Slack-jawed and wide-eyed, Dolly stares back at her daughter as tears gradually swell in her eyes. Slowly she moves to Leanna and gently pulls her into a tight hug.
Oh, Lee. You remind me so much of your father. When he died, I couldn't, I failed you as a mother.
Mom, I know you were just doing what you thought was right for me while dealing with your grief. I'm sure it wasn't easy losing Papa and having to handle my unpredictable bending.
But I imprisoned my own daughter. How can I possibly make up for all that I did to you? Will you ever be able to forgive me?
Smiling, Leanna hugs her mother back tight.
Despite everything, you'll always be my mama.
Dolly continues crying for several minutes as she caresses her daughter. Eventually, she leans back and wipes away her tears.
You could start making it up to me by letting me and my friends leave in peace.
So you truly aren't staying?
No, my friends need me. I want to help Taki find her father. I know all too well what it's like living without a papa.
But without our princess, who will lead Omashu into the future?
I know you think he's crazy and too powerful for his own good, but Uncle Boomy really should be king of Omashu. It's what Papa would have wanted.
Dolly glances down in thought for a moment, and then back up at Leanna with a tiny smile.
Guards, release Boomy at once and bring him before me. We have much to discuss.
By now, all of the guards have recovered from Leanna's earthbending blast. They eye Taki, Hakan, and Raiden cautiously.
Of course, Your Majesty. And what of these criminals?
You heard the princess. Let them go.
Ah, yes, Your Majesty.
The guard gives a low bow and then quickly exits the room with the rest of his troops. Leanna turns to Dolly with a wide smile.
Thank you, Mama.
Anything for my dear daughter. I hope that you continue to find happiness in whatever you do and where you go. Just know that you will always have a place here.
I know. But for now...
Leanna glances back at her friends.
I'm quite content.
34 AG, Earth Kingdom, Omashu. The next morning, Leanna walks happily through the streets of Omashu with Michi nestled in her arms. Faye and Hakan walk behind her while Taki and Raiden bring up the rear, walking beside Isla.
We're finally leaving Omashu.
It's about time.
Will you not miss your home, Leanna?
I suppose I'll miss it some. Perhaps I'll come back one day to visit my mama and uncle.
Your Uncle Boomy is an interesting man.
My papa and him were really close. I remember Papa saying Boomy even knew the Avatar when he was young.
That's incredible.
If Boomy is a powerful earthbender like you, why didn't he train you more to help you control the earthquakes?
He didn't actually think my bending needed to be controlled. Looking back, I can see he was right all along. My powerful earthquaking is the core of who I am, and it shouldn't be suppressed. I used to be so afraid of my bending, and quickly came to hate it. Mostly because Mama thought she knew best by locking me away to repress the earthquakes.
I'm so sorry, Leanna. That must have been very difficult.
It was, but one good thing did come out of it. Mama gave me Michi, so I would never be alone.
With a gentle smile, Leanna glances down at Michi and scratches behind her ears. As the group walks past the guards and out of the gates of Omashu, Leanna rushes forward with great excitement.
Our journey awaits!
Faye glances over at Hakan, who looks down in thought.
Is something wrong, sir?
Leanna. She said the reason she couldn't control her bending was because she was afraid of it.
Breathing deeply, Hakan gazes down at his open hands.
Yes. What does that have to do with...
Nothing. Forget it.
Taki, Isla, and Raiden continue walking slightly slower than the others. After a minute or so, Raiden looks up at the back of his brother's head.
It's hard to believe that Hakan actually came to help free me.
And beyond that, he even pretended to be you to distract the guards.
We used to switch places all the time when we were kids.
Sounds like you two were close.
Yes. We were.
And now?
Our paths have strayed too far apart. We're very different people now. Hakan, the relentless firebending master, and me, the deadly mercenary.
But I thought you wanted to change your ways and the types of missions you take on.
I may want that, but I'm not sure I can so easily cast aside the lightning shadow.
Furrowing her brows, Taki looks down as well. Up ahead, Leanna glances back at the group.
Come on, guys! I know a secret passage we can take to get to the shoreline of the Earth Kingdom. Let's go!
Thank you for listening to A Tale of the Sun and Moon by Megan Sly. This has been episode 17, The Princess. Voice talents included Michaela Case as the narrator, Sharia Bunce as Taki, Joshua Malley as Boomy, Alec Leonard as Hakan, Dawson Elke as Ryden, Megan Sly as Faye, Mitch Geiken as additional voices, Abby Day as Dolly, and Felicia Nicole as Leanna.